Was this verdict a surprise? Let's bring in with us Billy Bush and also Emily D. Baker. Billy, of course, is the host of Extra, which airs every weeknight here on Fox 11 at 6:30 p.m. Emily is a first-timer on our show. She is a former L.A. Deputy District Attorney, host of the very popular podcast, The Emily Show. The trial has made her a big star on YouTube, and she definitely has the best hair on the panel. Billy,
thank you.
Let's begin, though, with you, though, and your reaction to this verdict.
Alex, I am totally surprised that a celebrity has won a defamation trial. They never do. You know what I mean? It's part of the program, is what people usually think. So, you know, I have to say, when I saw this verdict come in, I'm hearing the jury go, yes, 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 over and over again. It's a complete and total repudiation of Amber Heard. It was stunning, frankly. So I will say, you know, and then they forgot, the jury came back the first time. They said, oh, you're supposed to put a punitive damage number on this. You forgot to say how much should be awarded. So they left. They got kicked out, and they came back in the courtroom, and they said $15 million. Boy, that was quick. A 10 and a 5, making 15, and then, of course, $2 million the other way for Johnny's lawyer, Adam Waldman, who they thought was who didn't act above board. So they, you know, but that's a net 13. Unbelievable. To me, I can't believe it.
Emily, as an attorney, are you just as surprised?
I am surprised. I thought if they were going to come back on anything, it would be the headline of that op-ed. This is not just a defamation case, it's defamation by implication and the element of republication. This is like a deeply nerdy legal case. And so I thought count one, yes. I was very surprised they came back on counts 2 and 3 and said that the entire op-ed was defamatory. And then we get the judge right at the end coming in and capping that punitive damages award at $350,000. So Johnny Depp will not see the entire $15 million, but I don't know if that's what matters most to him in this case. What do you think?
No, not at all. And that's exactly what he said. I'm glad to have my life back. He wasn't saying I'm glad to have $15 million. This is what it was about from the very beginning, was him getting his movie career back. And I keep going back to what Jerry Bruckheimer said a couple weeks ago when asked about Johnny and his future, you know, with Pirates of the Caribbean. And he said, you know, sorry, someone's trying to call me. My daughter. How dare I?
I thought that was Johnny.
Hey, Johnny, listen, not now. He said, basically, let's see what happens. Isn't that interesting? And what has happened is Johnny banked on the groundswell of support from people. Not often do you see the court of public opinion and the court itself line up together, and in this case, they totally have. Johnny's as popular as he's ever been, maybe more.
Yeah, and Phil, let's talk about the fascination for this. I mean, Emily's become a big star because of this.
Right.
A lot of people are tuning into Billy's coverage of this. Millions of people watching this online, live, every day. Why do you think people were so fascinated by this trial? Phil.
Is it me? Oh,
Phil.
If it's me, I'll tell you this. Celebrities don't share anything. Celebrities don't really share much anymore because every time they speak out publicly, they get jumped by somebody on Twitter, and then they have to apologize and all this stuff. And what I think people liked about Johnny Depp was he felt, I am not wrong, and I'm not going to sit here and issue some apology I don't believe in. I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to fight. And they rallied behind him.
Phil Shuman.
I just think, quite frankly, it was the salacious details, and people are fascinated by that in this social media time where people overshare, even though they're celebrities. And, you know, to hear some of these X-rated bedroom exploits and allegations, you know, it doesn't speak to the best qualities in all of us, I don't think. And we just had a peek literally behind the bedroom door. And it was, you know, fueled by this live streaming and by the live coverage that the judge agreed to, by the way, at their discretion. And that just got people sucked in, and they just couldn't get enough of it, quite frankly.
Emily, let's talk for a moment about the Me Too movement, especially as the woman on the panel tonight. Amber Heard making the point that this sets women back, especially people that come forward. What do you make of that?
I don't think this is a verdict that sets people back. At the end of the day, it's a defamation verdict. And if you are speaking the truth, then this shouldn't set anyone back. I think it really goes to the kind of underside where people are concerned, well, what happens if somebody's making an allegation that's not true? And in this case, we saw what happened. The jury said, Exactly. What happens if somebody's making an allegation that's not true? That's not protected speech, and it can be defamatory. But I think there is definitely a consideration online of listening to people's stories and also looking at what evidence there is. And that's what happened in this court of law, really, between these two parties. I don't think people won't believe victims going forward because of this case. I think people will see what victims have gone through and believe them despite this case.
Emily, you watched, of course, every minute of this trial. The verdict meant that the jurors didn't believe Amber Heard in her tearful, detailed testimonies with videos, with text messages, and they believed Johnny Depp, who by his own admission has led a very, let's say, unstable life. That seemed surprising to me.
It didn't surprise me that they believed Johnny Depp based on the evidence that Amber Heard put forward. Her legal team put forward 2 different sets of pictures that both had the same photo for different days. There were a lot of internal inconsistencies in her team and in their testimony and in some of